Welcome to HCS Talks. I'm your host, Superintendent of Hampton City Schools, Raymond Haynes. This is a Hampton City Schools podcast. If you are listening for the first time, thank you for joining us. If it is important to students, parents, teachers, the community, or anything that has to do with education, we hope to cover it on HCS Talks. The goal is to inform, educate, and even entertain you. Today, we have Ashley Gregory with us, who is the president of our Hampton Council PTA. So thank you for being here, Ms. Gregory. I'm looking forward to talking with you today about our strong partnership with the PTA. But before we focus on the Hampton PTA, please tell the listening audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, first off, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here and talk about our PTA. I'm originally from Maine, born and raised there, and after growing up there, I moved to Florida for a couple years, coached cheerleading and gymnastics, and then moved here due to the military. So I've
All
been
right.
here, I think, about 15 to 16 years now. I have 3 students in Hampton City Schools. My oldest is an 8th grader at Eaton. And then I have a 6th grader and 4th grader at Kilgore this year.
Wow. So Maine, do you still have family members in Maine?
Yes, I do. Both sides actually are up there.
Outstanding. How often do you get back there to visit?
So I don't get to go that often anymore. When the kids are younger, I got to go up periods of time. But now that the kids are in school and, work, I go up, bring them, spend a couple days, and then the kids get to spend their entire summer with both sides, both grandparents. And then I
Exciting.
get to a couple more days to go pick them up before school starts.
So you get the summer to take care of some things and do some things you need
I
for
try my
mom.
best.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
So, Miss Gregory, explain to the listening audience exactly what is a PTA.
So the PTA stands for Parent Teacher Association, and we actually also have a PTSA, which includes the students, and that's at the secondary level. So middle school and high school students are able to join in on that. Elementary level, we just keep parent and teachers. But it basically is a group of parents that, they want to be advocates for their students, whether it's a positive situation that they want to keep interacting with, or if there's situations that they see, there's an opportunity within the school or within the division or wherever they see necessary that they want to get in on and advocate for not only their kid, but other students as well.
Outstanding. But the PTA does a lot of supportive things for the schools as
We sure
well.
do. So we don't just advocate, which that is one of our big things, is the advocacy portion of it. But we do everything from back to school events to end of school celebrations, after proms for the high schoolers. We do book fairs within different schools, and we also do, oh gosh, let's see, different fundraisers. And then one of our big ones in May, which we also do throughout the year, is Teacher Appreciation Week.
Yes, ma'am. So, for example, with the back to school nights, what types of things does the PTA do in support of that?
So it could be anything from helping, serve a teacher appreciation dinner where teachers aren't leaving the schools between the end of the school day and back to school night. So, the PTA is able to go in and provide a dinner of some sort for them because they can't leave. It could be that, it could be anything, having a table set up to create awareness of a PTA within the school, or just be there to help the students find their rooms.
Yes, those are good, excellent resource and support in terms of what the PTA does in regards to those specific nights and events at the schools as well. You mentioned teacher appreciation, but I know that the PTA does other things as well. During my tenure at high school, I know there was a lot of focus and emphasis on support for the prom. So, can you speak a little bit about that as well?
So I personally am just getting involved in that. I've been kind of, I'll say, a taxi on picking up different donations from our community that, support the after prom events. But our PTSAs within the high schools, they help support and make sure that it is a safe environment after the prom so that those students that go to prom, they're not just, a free for all afterwards, but they have that safe environment and it's a lot of fun. I think a couple years ago, or maybe just recently, they did it at a bowling alley. So the students were able to go to the bowling alley and have that safe environment with chaperones and with the PTSA. And there were so many donations that the students were able to actually win prizes. And they
Wow.
had tons of fun.
Wow. And I remember how supportive the PTSA was during my tenure at the high school and setting up those after prom activities. So just wanted to make certain the listening audience knew that the PTSA also supports things and initiatives like that as well.
Absolutely. And I do know, even though I'm just getting into that scenario myself, it is a big one for our high school
It
PTSAs.
certainly is. The PTA also does scholarships, right?
Yes, so not necessarily on a smaller level, within the schools themselves, which they do. Some schools do teacher grants. So if the teachers want extra, say, notebooks for their classrooms, some of the budgets have that line cut out that, if it's within the budget and the teachers need it, they can apply for that. And, most of the time it's approved and we're able to supply those things for the teachers, but all the way up to the state PTA and national PTA, they give out different scholarships to students. And we have one, I believe it's the Reflections. It's an arts contest within the national PTA. And we start at our local levels. And there's everything from choreography to photography, literature. There's a bunch of different categories the students can enter in. And there is a theme every year that's put out, and it's actually voted on every year by students and local units.
So the
So,
actual theme is voted on by students in the local units prior to
yes.
even being a part of the
Yeah,
reflections
exactly.
contest.
Yeah, so they get to vote on that, and it goes into effect, a year or two after they're voted on. But they get to participate, and however their creativity can come out the best, they get to participate and submit something, and then it's submitted from each local unit from the school, and it goes to council, and then we take those first, second, and third places, and we vote on them, within secondary and elementary,
Mhm.
and then we send them up to the state level. So they have multiple chances to win.
So do you know what the first, second, and third place prizes have been in the past and what they will be
I think they
this year?
fluctuate every year. I know that on a council level, we give out awards.
Mm,
So it's not necessarily that we give out scholarships, which definitely is something to bring back to the council board to discuss.
right,
If it's within our budget, I think that's a great idea. But I do know we give out, certificates of
right.
congratulations. And then we also try to give trophies every single year. That way we're recognizing our students for the work they're putting in.
So from the local level, if they place first, do they have to place first, or can it be first, second, or third to go to the next level?
So we send first and second to the next level.
Okay,
And then at the state level, those all get voted on for all of the ones that come in from all over the state. And those, I believe it's just the first place that goes to the national level.
okay. So the first and second place goes to the state level. So a second place winner could go to the state and become the first place winner,
It's very possible.
and then from there it's the national level.
Yes, sir.
So just thinking about what types of incentives are out there for those levels as well at the state and national level, and what comes about as a result. Um, so I did want to mention once again, you mentioned the theme that comes with the reflections. What are the categories
So
once again?
the categories go anywhere from choreography to literature. There is also photography. There is, oh my gosh, there's so many levels.
And then what grade levels? Can it be K through 12
It
or?
can be, yes, K through 12. Everybody participates, and they actually only participate within their grade level. So it's not kindergartners competing
Fifth
against
graders?
fifth
Yes.
graders or, second graders competing against seniors.
So when they award young people, it's based on the grade level. So you're saying in the kindergarten group, this particular student won.
So it would actually be kindergarten through fifth grade is
Mhm.
our primary. So they would all be in one category.
Okay.
And then the primary, we have an intermediate. So that's the middle schoolers. And then the secondary high schoolers. So there's actually three different groups that they're going to participate in.
Okay. I want to circle back around to the state and national, I guess, incentives, or if they place first or second at that level, what types of incentives are provided to to young people?
So I am actually looking right now at it, and the theme this year is, oh, let's see if my phone will work. It is I am hopeful because.
I am
So,
hopeful
yes, and
because.
that opens it up to so many different versions of that. And so the
Yes.
students really can get creative on I am hopeful because of whatever. And so, like I said, there's all those different categories, and however they want to express themselves, they're able to really go at it. And we actually had a winner from Eaton. I don't think it was last year; it was the previous year, and she also went on and won the state level, and then competed on the national level.
Wow. Wow.
So
That is outstanding. I am hopeful because. So it leaves it open for a lot of young people to showcase their creativity as well.
absolutely.
So I did want to ask you, but it's sort of kind of obvious now, but if you wanted to elaborate on it, why joining the PTA is so important.
So, in my opinion, I'll go back all the way 9 years ago when I first kind of was asked to be a part of this. I really didn't know what a PTA was. My opinion of a PTA was the bake sales, and the stereotypical PTA of what we all kind of thought it was.
Right.
It is not that at all. Being asked to be a part of it, I came in and, I had some great mentors, both council and national and state level, that kind of showed me it's not that at all. It is coming together with the teachers so that the students and families have the support they need, but also being the liaison to those families. And, if there's an issue or if there's, a shout out that they want to give, and really make sure that it's given to those staff members, that we're able to help in whatever way we can and need to.
All right. So I've always found it critically important to emphasize the need the need for staff members to be a part of the PTA as well. So wanted to also promote 100% staff participation in PTA as well.
Absolutely. So we actually, council puts on an incentive, and we start as of July 1st when our fiscal year starts, and it's the first 5 schools to have 100% teacher participation. They get an extra $50 to put towards their teacher appreciation budget from council. And
Nice.
we've awarded those 5 schools, and they will be announced at our first general membership meeting next week.
Nice. It's a way to have a little healthy competition amongst the schools, and I know the principals will take that and run with it as
Oh, yeah,
well.
it's a lot of fun.
So, Ms. Gregory, talk a little bit about your role as the president and the makeup of the executive board.
Sure. So, when I first started, my first role was president for Bryan Elementary. So I'm kind of familiar with the president role, even though I'm sitting at the council role, not in charge of the school unit, but
Right.
now I get to look after 30 school units.
Yes.
My biggest challenge, but I'm excited for it, is to get each of those 30 schools an active unit this year. And that's really just working with the admin to find the parents that are interested in holding those roles, and, taking step by step and making sure they're a successful unit.
So, recognizing your role as the PTA council president, but also you're having firsthand experience in serving as PTA president at Bryan Elementary School, correct?
Yes, and I also held secretary and treasurer, so I'm familiar with all the positions on a board. So I feel very comfortable in helping everybody in their
And helping to lead that work, absolutely.
exactly.
So, the executive board consists of you as the president.
Yes.
What are the other positions and
So I have
who is serving in those
absolutely.
positions?
So I have two VPs, Dave and Sheridan, and all of our members have students, or grandchildren or family members in the schools. So Dave and Sheridan both have their babies are in school currently. And then Jen, she is one of my mentors personally, but
Right.
she's been doing PTA 20 something years. So she's a huge, huge help on
So
every
Ms.
level.
Parker is the treasurer.
Ms. Parker is the treasurer, yes, and she sits on a local unit as well. Renee is our secretary, and she's got 2 students as well in school, and then Christina is our member at large.
All right. All right. So talk about any upcoming PTA events. I know we mentioned the reflections contest. And if you wanted to add anything about that, you can certainly do so. But any upcoming events as it relates to activities or fundraisers?
Yeah, so I mean, definitely with the reflections, that's super important for us as, a whole PTA, regardless of if it's a local unit, council, state, or anything. So, a reflections contest, definitely if you're interested, get in touch with your local unit because everyone's due date is a little bit different
Okay.
as to when they need to get it to council. But as far as council is concerned, we're still in the works of putting together some spirit nights throughout the city of Hampton.
All right. All right.
Super excited about those.
So, Spirit Nights, can you talk a little bit about examples of Spirit Nights
Yes,
that
so
we've had in the past and what we may be anticipating this year?
definitely. So last year, probably one of my favorites, and every time I bring this up, I get a little smile from you. um, so we did a McDonald's Spirit Night with the executive leadership team. And it was about 4 hour time span where council and executive leadership team, we were out there and we were serving the students, families of Hampton, taking their orders, helping bus tables, everything in between.
So, in that capacity, it's not just Spirit Night. We actually have members of the division leadership team
Yes.
serving as employees in that
It
role.
was a lot of fun that night. So I'm just giving you a heads up. I don't know if we're
I
doing
hear
that,
you.
but
Either way, I'm looking forward to it
yes.
and certainly will support it
Yes.
because I think it benefits the entire school division and showing that school and community connection, I think is important to the work that we do to impact young people.
Yeah, definitely. And it was a lot of fun to get out there and, everyone might hear my name or hear someone else's name on council, but to be able to be out there so families could actually meet us.
So with the Spirit Nights, how does that work in terms of the support we get back from working with a local restaurant?
So just like, I mean, even council goes with just like a local unit would. We would get a portion of the proceeds that, that time period. So say it was 5 to 9 that evening. From 5 to 9, we would get a portion of whatever proceeds are made, the profit, and it would go right back into council, which we put right back into whatever events we're doing.
Okay.
Whether it's the reflections contest awards or if it's we have an end of year awards banquet for our local units to celebrate all of their successes. Any way that we can put back into our units.
And we certainly can't say enough about the support we get from the community and local businesses and
Oh,
restaurants.
yeah, it's been wonderful.
And we're looking forward to that continued partnership as
Yes,
well.
very excited.
So, PTA membership, I know there are fees associated with that. I don't know if it's a uniformed fee for all schools or does it vary? And if it varies, what would be the range?
So it does vary. Overall, it is a $6 membership fee. There are some schools that are $7, and I believe there's a school that is 8. And so it wouldn't be more than $8 to my knowledge. But most of the schools are $6, and it doesn't just go to us. So paying your $6 membership dues, it gets you to be a member of your PTA for your school. It also goes to council. And then it goes to the state and national level too. So anything coming from the national PTA that, any say advocacy or school vote that needs to be put out, we would, it would trickle all the way down to the schools and we help the presidents and the boards put that out to the parents to vote on. So you get a vote all the way up to the national level.
Okay. So the money, the $6, just for the listening audience, that entire $6 is not going towards the school in
Correct.
regards to their PTA. So how
No,
does that
so
work?
it breaks down. I want to say, so we'll use the $6 for the example. I want to say about $1 stays within your school. And that can go towards membership incentives. So that's not necessarily going right in their bank account and sitting there. It goes, pizza parties or ice cream parties or anything that the school wants to do for an incentive, or even just to use for, say, end of school activities. But then 50 cents goes to council. And like I said, that goes towards reflection ceremony or whatever we happen to put out there. But then I believe it's $3.75 goes towards the state and national PTAs, and that helps support their programs like their reflections program or any other events they have going on.
So if a student population is about 300 and everybody joins, then it would be $300 since only $1 goes towards the
Exactly.
school.
Yes.
Can a person, is just wild question to throw out there,
Yeah.
can a person donate more money towards the PTA for a school?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know all of our schools would absolutely appreciate that so much. They would put that in their donation budget line and use it with the best possible way that they see effective. Now, if someone wanted to donate, say $50, and it was specific to a certain program that that school was putting on, then that unit would make sure it goes towards that unit or
They
that.
can also say, I want to donate this $50 towards the Kilgore PTA,
Exactly.
and the entire $50 would go. It wouldn't be broken down
Nope.
for
It
state.
would go, say they said $50 to the, membership fees.
Right.
Okay, well, what grade?
Mm,
We would try to get as much information to make sure it goes exactly to where that person wanted it to go to.
okay. That's good information to know.
Yeah.
So, what is the easiest way to learn more about the PTA and or to contact you?
So to contact me or anybody on our board, we have our email, and it's as simple as we can make it: Hampton, Hampton, PTA @outlook.com. And I check that email on a regular.
All
So if
right.
there's any questions, definitely, shoot me an email and I will get right back to you. If they're interested in a PTA and they do have a student enrolled, contact your teacher or your administrator, and they can definitely point you in the right direction there. If they do not have a student enrolled and they're listening, then I would suggest contact our email. And then I can kind of go from there and see what the best situation would be for that individual.
Very good. Very good. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the listening audience before
One
we close out?
last thing. This is a very exciting thing for us. Our Hampton Flex program is a newly online chartered PTA. So they are Hampton's first online PTA, and we're very excited to start working with them.
That is exciting to hear and to know. And I'm looking forward to all the Flex program has to offer to our young people in the community as
Absolutely.
well. So thank you, Ms. Gregory, for taking time from your busy day to sit down with me and share about our fantastic Hampton PTA. I wish the PTA a successful year, and I am looking forward to supporting the PTA and continuing our strong partnership. And to our listeners, remember, education is the most powerful weapon you could use to change the world. As one community, one transformation, we will ensure academic excellence for every child, every day, whatever it takes. See you next week.
Listen to learn more about Hampton City Schools. New episodes of HCS Talks drop on Thursdays. Subscribe and listen to HCS Talks. HCS Talks is a Hampton City Schools production.